Oh, let's take a quick peek at these games tomorrow, Richard. Torino and Cagliari. We get to see Torino for the first time this season. Not a whole lot has changed with how they line up under Ivan Juric. It's still going to be the same 3-4-2-1. You've got Miranchuk's not there anymore, so Vlasic is going to be in there to help, take the reins here on the creativity side. You got Raul Bellanova playing on the right wing back position as a possibility.
Yeah.
Scores, Buongiorno, and Rodriguez across the back. So, things haven't really changed with them. Newly promoted Cagliari, Shamuradov, who's over from Roma with Pavoletti up front, could be a possibility. Naita Nandez is still there. Jakub Jankto is a guy they brought over.
I like that.
Czech Republic international, a lot of experience, good left foot.
Yeah.
Augello is a guy they brought over from Sampdoria.
Yeah.
And it's Claudio Ranieri, and this is what he's going to do. He's going to play 4-4-2 because he doesn't know any other system.
Yeah.
And, I expect him to sit back. I expect him to allow Torino to come forward. I think that you'll see some influence from the wingbacks, especially from Torino, Bellanova, and Vojvoda, if they get the start. But I think this is going to be a tight game. A lot of people. Torino's a favorite at home. I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in it. I think, in fact, it'll just be the one, and I think Torino will get it. I think it's just going to come from something odd. I think that this is going to be one of those where, okay, promoted, Ranieri's got a ton of experience. They're going to fight their tail side off over there, but in the end, they're just going to be a little bit short. Torino's going to win the match 1-0.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's going to be many goals in this game. Certainly tight. There's no real screaming of like player you got to watch in this game. Honestly, I mean, we know what Torino are from what we saw last season. They're going to be difficult. They're going to have their chances. I agree with you. Being at home, being against a newly promoted team, they're going to get more chances than Cagliari are. I think. I can see Torino getting an early goal too. Riding that kind of momentum, and then Cagliari kind of forced to come out of their shell. Anytime a team has Pavoletti, I feel there's a chance they're going to score goals. Pavoletti he's a nose for a goal. He does. So I see a 1-1 game. Not much goals, like you said. It's just going to be a game where a 4-4-2, Ranier's not going to want to give up too much, but he's going to let them have possession, and then they're going to have to be coming out of their shell a little bit and then get the goal. So yeah, it'll be an okay game, but it has 1-1 written all over for me.
Yep. 1-0 for Torino for you as well.
1-1. 1-1.
Oh, you got 1-1. Okay, the Cagliari will score.
Pavoletti finds a way.
Okay. I got 1-0 to Torino. So, and then finally to wrap up match week 1, we've got Bologna hosting Milan. Much talk about Bologna with some of the moves that they've made, some of the players that they're bringing in. Riccardo Orsolini was rumored to be going to Sassuolo, but I think that's only going to happen if Berardi actually leaves. Dominguez is still there. You got Lewis Ferguson, who impressed. Xerxes takes over from Arnautovic up top. And then Boykema is in back. Good news for Bologna and Bologna fans. Adama Soumaro is suspended. He's a card and a booking and a penalty waiting to happen whenever he plays. Yeah. So you got that going for you. And then Milan's going to have this new look 4-3-3, and we've seen it in preseason. We've seen it have its positives against some pretty good clubs that they went up against in friendlies, but it also exposed them, in parts. The question you have to ask yourself, because there was a lot of talk about Tomori that there's a lot of struggles with him lately. You got him and Chow back there possibly. Kalulu may start on the right. We'll see how it goes. Is it Xerxes and Orsolini guys that are going to be enough to scare Milan's back line? That's question 1. Question 2, the new look attack from Milan. Pulisic looks like he's slated to start on the right of the front 3. You'll probably see Chukwueze at some point. Reiner's in midfield, Loftus-Cheek. Can Milan take what they've been doing in this preseason, translate it to 3 points against a Bologna team that a lot of people are interested in them in terms of a team that could be really, really bothersome to the traditional powers of Serie A. Difficult fixture for Milan right off the bat to try a new system here under Pioli.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they have all these new pieces, right? And last year, I know in the prediction pod, I had them. I picked Milan as my preliminary Scudetto favorites. But I'm starting to have second thoughts about all these new pieces and whether they can work or not. That's my biggest thing. Now, the potential is there that they can be really fantastic to watch and really click. But we've also seen in the past where these kind of things take time and they don't all necessarily work out. And I think a team that's managed by Thiago Motta, we saw what Bologna did last year. They're going to come ready. And you mentioned the names of the guys. There's an Orsolini name. Should that scare the Milan back line? It shouldn't. It should, but it won't. And that'll be their downfall. I think. They won't be as ready for a fight as they would for like a Vlahovic or Osimhen, right? They're gonna say, "Oh, it's just Orsolini or Chelsea. I'm not gonna be worried about it." But I think they should be, and this is gonna be a difficult game for Milan. I'm not sure yet how all these pieces are gonna come together, whether it's gonna work or not. I think the midfield has the potential to be good, but it's that chemistry you need in these kind of games where the other team knows themselves so well. Bologna does, and Milan doesn't. And Bologna could use that to their advantage. Thiago Motta is going to scheme for that, and so I think this game has draw written all over it. Honestly, I think there'll be goals, a 1-1 maybe, maybe 2-2 if its defenses are poor. But I don't see Milan winning this just because of the inexperience with each other, infamiliarity, and I think Bologna are good enough. They were last year, ninth, I think, last year. They're going to be a top 10 team this year. They're going to be cause headaches, and Thiago Motta is going to find a way to get his team ready. He'll see the weaknesses from the preseason, know from last year what they're good and what they're not good on, and try to exploit that. And I for sure think Bologna is going to make this a difficult game, and Milan needs to kind of scream, for a new manager once the game ends at 1-1 or 2-2 or whatever it is. So,
Leo against Posh.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think becomes interesting. I think Giroud gets nullified. I think Boykum is good enough to man mark. I think we're going to watch him and we're going to realize we got a pretty good center back here in this league coming over. And I think he might have the capacity to man mark Giroud if he loses but he's also a young defender and could lose his concentration at the same time too. So I'm covering my ass on this one, in case Giroud scores now. Okay, we've seen positive progress from Reinders.
Yeah.
He's what I thought he would be when he came over. Now Dominguez is a decent enough defensive midfielder. Can he get him some trouble? Can he kind of curb things with him? I think the fact that Milan can now extend their attack a little bit more, and it's still going to take them some time. I think it's going to create some problems for Bologna defensively. On the other end, though, I think this Milan team defensively lapses in concentration enough to give away something cheap. So I'm with you on 1-1. I think that's what it's going to end up being. And I think it's going to be a byproduct of the defense has been leaky lately, still in the process of fixing it. The attack is not fine-tuned with all the new parts yet, but we'll still find a way to score one. That's where I'm going with this. Milan get a point at Bologna. Tough fixture to start the season. But they start with a draw, and Bologna start with a draw.